What's up, everybody? Hope your weekend's going well so far. My name's Ryan Kostrowski. This is Fantasy Sports Consulting. Not here to give picks today. What I want to talk today is about upping your DFS discipline and your strategy in order to create a better overall profit margin. Now, if you've been following me this week and watching along on the videos, I've talked about how I've been quote unquote punishing myself this week. I've been playing fewer contests and I've been playing for lower dollar amounts. Why? If you're like me, sometimes you're betting, it gets bigger and it gets bigger, and you're playing more and more contests, and you find yourself, you let the human nature take over, and you're trying to get that big score. I mean, I get emails and tweets and Instagram messages from people all day long, and everybody wants to be a millionaire and everybody wants the big money, but the reality is that that just isn't going to happen most of the time. If you've ever won or even gotten second place in a big GPP, it's awesome. There are not a lot of other feelings better than it. I mean, skydiving, sex. There's things that we enjoy, but being right there in a big GPP is great. But the truth is, that doesn't happen for most people on a nightly basis, or a lot of people ever overall. So I really wanted to focus on being more disciplined this week. I'm going to kind of tell you what I did, and I would urge you guys, if that's one of your issues, because my biggest problem with DFS has always been that end of the night, I'm just going to set one more lineup. I'm going to set one more lineup, and you spread yourself too thin. And unless you score with a real big GPP win that night, it usually ends up being less profitable for you long term. So, like I said, I paid down this week. All I did was just play for 35 bucks a day. And I know we all play for different amounts. And some of you are going to be like, whoa, that's a lot to play for a day. And other you guys are going to be like, that's it. That's chump change. We all play for different amounts. I paid down this week, and I just paid for $35 a day. And what I did was I played $20 in double ups. I entered that same main double up in a $5 GPP. And then I take my normal 5x5 GPP system and I played it in only $2 GPPs which is down from where I normally spend. So it was an overall day, every single day, same thing, same $35, same contest. And kind of this is how the week played out for me and what I hope to emulate moving forward in order to make more money overall and stop spending or setting too many lineups that cut into your overall profit margin. So started the week on Monday. Good day. Cash game won, so he turned 20 into 40. My GPP, the $5 GPP that I entered that cash lineup in, I fell just out of it at the very last minute. So didn't make any money there, but had a really good night with the 5-pack and turned those five $2 GPPs into $89. I was fortunate enough to hit the overtime game that day. So I had a combination of Beal, Wall, and Cousins. And when that game went to OT, I was fortunate enough to be part of that. So that was a little good luck, worked my way on Monday. That's one of the reasons, if I can, especially on smaller slates, I like to at least have a couple of guys from the same game because if it does go OT. Now, sidebar for a second. I'm all over social media every single day, and I'm constantly seeing people like after the double OT game of the Warriors versus Rockets the other day. I see people on Twitter all the time like, "Thanks for the great advice, man. I can't believe you knew Harden would go for 73 points. You didn't. You went double OT. Harden had a shit ton of points in overtime. So some days it'll work for you, it'll work against you, but it's important to evaluate your contest and see why you did what you did. On Monday, I got lucky. My lineups would have been fine, but they ended up being really good because I was fortunate enough to hit the OT that day. So good luck on Monday, but overall profit of turning 35 into 139 for a profit of $104 on the day because we got the right games that day. So it was a nice solid day. Tuesday, cash game won. I did well enough to double my money in the $5 GPP as well. So that $25 in bets turned into 50. But GPP was a major fail, lost that $10. So overall turned 35 into 50, which is a profit of $15 on the day. Nothing great, not rich, but you have more money in your account at day's end than you do the day that you started. So that's a good thing. Wednesday. So Wednesday was the funky day. That was the day that we got the very, very late news of the Sixers and the Kings game getting canceled. And my lineup sucked. I did a really, really bad job of putting together quality lineups at the last minute. My cash lineup missed by a few points. And it's only because I played, I forget who it was already, but it was a really bad pick. And I did it in a flash trying to catch up and swap those guys out late. That's on me. That was a bad day. Lost everything. So down $35 on Wednesday. Didn't bring a single dollar back. Not a good day. Thursday, Cash game 1 turned 20 into 40. Missed the GPP by a point again because of the double OT game. I only had Durant, and after a certain point, Durant did so well from that game that what's the best way to look at it? I wasn't getting the extra points, and during the double OT game, I slipped out by a point. So it turned 20 into 40, lost that 5. GPP was awful again, so I lost that 10, but still wound up bringing back $40 off of 35, so it's a $5 profit on the day. Again, nothing to brag about, nothing to write home about, but you're still up money on the day, which is better than losing money, if I'm not mistaken. All right, Friday night. So last night was a pretty darn good night, and my cash game was straight fire. The only thing I got wrong in it was Karl Anthony Towns. Big props to Kylo Quinn. He was awesome last night. That was a really great game by him. But cash game won easily, and since I was right near the top, I think I finished like 4th out of 114. I also took that $5 GPP I entered in, and that turned into 30. Ultimately, so that 25 turned into 70, so that's a decent profit margins. And the GPPs I entered, I actually broke exactly even. I made the mistake of not rolling Embiid as part of my 5-pack, trying to get a little bit too cute. You do that once in a while. But overall, still, to turn 35 into 75 for the night, not bad. You're looking at close to about 2.5 times your buy-in that day. You'll take that every single day. And if you want to win more money, play for more money. I told you, I punished myself this week and played down. It wasn't as much fun as it could have been. But still, it was part of me trying to become more disciplined, because that's the biggest weakness of my game that I feel, is that you think like you know so much, so at the end of the night you start setting all these extra lineups that you shouldn't be setting. Stay disciplined. So, kind of a review of the week. Cash games at $20 a day times 5 days, that's $100. Won 4 times, so 4 times 40, bringing back is $160. So it's $60 profit in the week, or 60%, however you want to look at it. Okay. Now, the GPP lineup that I enter with my cash lineups, I do that for $5 a day, one single GPP, with an overall of $25. Now, since I got 30 back last night and 10 on Monday or Tuesday, that brings you to a total of 40, which is a $15 profit on the week off of $25. So we're looking at about 60%. Not bad again. So 60% profit, 60% profit. Now, for the 5-pack GPP, $10 a day, that's $50. Brought in 99, so that was a nice profit of $49 off of $50 in bets. Solid. For an overall profit of the week of about doubling my money. That worked out well. That was fine. It's nothing great. I'm not writing home about it. I'm not going to Sizzler. Nobody's rich right here. But we brought about twice what we put into the week, so that's good. And it wasn't like my picks were like straight fire this week, that I was getting super lucky or super on fire. Monday, I got the OT game, but a lot of the other days I missed the OT game. So there was that. It was just a ho-hum way you want to play the week, playing disciplined and not setting too many lineups. If you can handle 500 lineups, good for you, man. That's awesome. I'm actually a little bit jealous of your skills, because between trying to give people advice, trying to set my own lineups, and kids running around, I just can't do it. If you can do it, you're a better man than me. I'm just not capable of doing it. We're all capable of handling different numbers of lineups. If you can do 100, do 100. If you can only handle 1, just do 1. Do what works for you. Now, I haven't finalized it yet, but now that my timeout or punishment or hiatus is done, I will move up next week for the number of dollars I bet on the day. I won't move up big. I'm not going to all of a sudden start betting $5,000 a day or anything like that. But my initial thoughts are thinking that I'll bump my cash games up to $50 a day. Then I'll play one $9 GPP, and then I will do five $5 GPPs. So that will come out to a total of the day of $84. And then if you just win your cash lineup or your double up, what I play, you get $100 back. So worst case scenario, if you just win your cash lineup, you're up $16 on the day. There's different ways you can do it. That's what I have found to be most effective for me. I share that because I want you guys to maybe think about some things you could do differently for yourselves. But ultimately, we're all going to play a little bit differently. There are no set or structured rules for one way to succeed. In these groups that I run, I've got one group now with over 300 people. I got another one growing up quickly. I'm talking to DFS people all day long, and I know a lot of really successful DFS players. They all play a little bit differently. Do what you're comfortable with and do what's going to matter and succeed for you. But try different things and play around a little bit. This was good for me. It helped me get back to being more structured and disciplined, which is something I tend to lack from time to time, and that's on me. I'm the only one who can fix that. So hopefully you guys get something out of this. Best of luck this week. NFL's coming up tomorrow. I hope you have a great week 13. I'm not really playing NBA today. If I do, I will set my cheaper lineups today. I'll maybe just play something real cheap just so I can watch. But taking the kids out to see Christmas lights later on, so I won't really be around for late swaps. And if you're not around for late swaps, you really shouldn't play for much money. So, all right, guys, I've rambled on long enough. I hope you guys take something out of this. Best of luck and have a wonderful day.